Water is a vital part of life, and ensuring Michiganders have access to clean water is a priority. Hi, I'm Lance Wood, and I'm a project manager in the Water Infrastructure Funding and Financing section. In this video, we'll talk about the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, or CWSRF. This program provides low-interest loans for publicly owned wastewater and stormwater infrastructure projects. Examples of CWSRF projects include wastewater collection system improvements, wastewater treatment plant upgrades, stormwater collection and conveyance, and non-point source projects, and other improvements that help protect public health. So how does a community receive financing for these projects? To be eligible, your project must meet a few requirements. Your community needs to be a municipality, such as a city, village, county, township, or other public body created under state law. And you will need to have the ability to bond for the project and obtain an investment grade rating as required by the Michigan Department of Treasury. There could be additional requirements needed depending on the type of project. More detailed information on these requirements can be found in the planning guidance on our website. If all requirements are met, the first step is to submit an intent to apply or an ITA. This form lets the Water Infrastructure Funding and Financing section, or WIFS, know which communities will apply for financing for the upcoming fiscal year and for how much. Once an ITA is submitted, you'll be assigned a project manager to help walk you through the steps along the way. The ITA is a digital form available on the Clean Water State Revolving Fund website. Next, each community should submit an overburden determination form that is used to determine if the service area is considered overburdened, significantly overburdened, or neither. This information helps WIFs determine possible principal forgiveness or grant funding when available. While the overburden status is being determined, usually sometime between January and March, a project planning document will need to be developed and submitted to your WIF's project manager by the required due date, or before if you'd like an early review. Guidance for this planning document can be found on our website. Once the plan is submitted, department staff will review and score it based on the established scoring criteria. All planning documents received by WIF's project managers will be scored, and their plans can be utilized for 5 years. The preliminary scores will be published on the draft project priority list in the intended use plan in the summer. A public comment period will follow, at which time you can provide input on how your project scored, how funds are proposed to be allocated, or any other concerns you have. The project priority list should be finalized by October 1st. This document illustrates how program funds will be allocated to projects in a given fiscal year. So, what are the most important pieces to include in a CWSRF project planning document? First, you'll want to give some background information about the current system, population projections, and the need for the project, including any previous studies completed. Then, you'll discuss the alternatives that were analyzed to determine how the project was chosen, which should include the monetary, environmental, and technical considerations. You'll also want to discuss any environmental and public health impacts as a result of the project and any mitigation needed to reduce impacts. Providing details about public participation efforts is one of the most crucial parts of your planning document. This section will include proof of advertising for a public meeting for a minimum of 15 days. You'll need to include a copy of the advertisement and the summary of the public meeting, including any presentation materials and any questions or comments that were received. You will need to include a resolution from the governing body that adopts the planning document and selected alternatives. You will also need to identify the authorized representative, which is the individual who will be signing off on all future documentation. Your assigned project manager can help go over these items in more detail and can review a draft document if requested. Now that the final project priority list is published, what happens? If your project was scored and listed within the fundable range, congratulations! Your project manager will reach out and help coordinate a milestone schedule, which will determine when certain deliverables are due. Due to limited funds, it is possible that funding will not be available for your project for the fiscal year that you apply. However, your planning document will remain on file with WIFs if you decide to apply again for the next fiscal year. For more information on funding and financing opportunities, please visit our website or reach out to us directly. We look forward to working with you.